Hello! Welcome to your third iCIMS assignment, Introduction to iCIMS Onboarding. My name is Taylor Gianetti, and I will be taking you through your training today. Let's start by reviewing what you've already learned. First, you learned how to create a new job profile, post to job boards, and move candidates through the system. In the last assignment, we discussed how to initiate the offer approval process and how to send the appropriate offer letter to your top candidate. Now, you are at the point where your candidate has returned the offer letter with their response, and you can begin the onboarding process. First, let's look at the offer letter from the candidate's perspective. As mentioned in your last assignment, the candidate receives the offer letter via email, where they are prompted to click on a link to log into iCIMS and review and respond to their offer letter. Once the candidate makes their selection and submits their response, both the recruiter and the hiring manager will receive an email showing their response, as seen here. This response will also be shown in your dashboard, in a panel called Offer Information. Here, you will be able to view all accepted and declined offers from the past 30 days. If you prefer, you can also see this on the candidate's profile within the job being offered. To get there, you will go to the People tab of the job profile, select the candidate's name, and then go to the iForms tab. As you can see, this candidate has accepted their offer and are ready to begin the onboarding process. To do this, you will click Advance. When you select Show More Statuses, you will now see that Background Check Initiated, Drug Screen, and Reference Check Initiated are now available statuses. You will follow the same steps as you currently do for this section of the process. Once those steps have been initiated, you should move the candidate into Ready to Onboard, which is now also available. This will bring you to a separate screen, which you can enlarge for a better view. As you can see, much of the information on this screen is already filled in for you. The job will remain in the approved and open status until onboarding is complete, so it is important not to change the status at this time. Since the information is being pulled directly from the job, the only information you need to add is the candidate's start date and the appropriate I-9 information. Please note, you must select a start date that is at least 5 business days in advance. This allows time for the candidate to complete their onboarding tasks, the background check and drug screen results to come back, and for the candidate to be officially hired and ready to go in Lawson. Once you have added the appropriate start date and I-9 information, you will select OK in the bottom right of the screen. This will bring you to the next step, where you will select which onboarding packet should be sent to the candidate. To view your options, click on the Select dropdown at the top of the screen. Here, you can select to type to search a specific new hire category profile, or you can view all. For the purpose of this training, I will select all new hire category profiles. As you can see, there are now multiple options to choose from in the available workflow list. These workflows will be configured for you with basic options for different kinds of new hires. I have created a generic test workflow for the purpose of this training, so I will double-click on that in the list to select it. Now, you can see that this workflow has been moved over into the selected box. To unselect this workflow, you will double-click on it here, and it will move back to the available box. After selecting the appropriate workflow, I will click Submit in the bottom right of the screen. You are now viewing the tasks that are suggested for the workflow that you selected. Again, these will be configured for you, but if you wish to add any additional tasks, you can do so using the drop-down at the top of the screen. You can select a specific new hire category, or you can view all the tasks in the library. To add a task, you will click the checkbox next to its name. After adding whichever additional tasks are needed, you can double-check the list again by using the drop-down at the top of the screen and now selecting Currently Selected. Once you've reviewed your task list and it is complete, you will click Add Tasks in the bottom right corner of the screen. The final step is the email to the candidate. Once again, this email will pull the appropriate variables from the job and candidate profiles, so there is no need to edit the email. You will select Send at the bottom right of the screen. Here, you can see the email as the candidate receives it. Once again, they are prompted to click the link to log into the system, where they can complete their onboarding tasks. Once they have completed all their required onboarding tasks, and their background check, drug screen, and reference checks have all come back as passed, the candidate is ready to be hired. To see where your candidates are in the onboarding process, you can go to your dashboard and view the Recruiter Onboarding Report. This will show your candidates that are in the onboarding status, as well as those who have completed their onboarding in the past 30 days. You can click on Onboard Complete to view those candidates. To hire your candidate, you will click on the job title here, or you can search for the job title using the quick search bar in the top right of your screen. Once here, you will select the candidate using the checkbox next to their name and select Advance. You will then select Show More Statuses, and by scrolling down to the bottom of the list, you can see that the hired status is now available. You can also select Rehire or Contract or Temp, depending on which fits your candidate best. In this case, I will select Hired. Once again, this will bring up a separate screen, which you can enlarge for a better view. You will then have the option to send rejection notices to other candidates for this job. You will have the option to either not send any rejection notices, send a rejection notice to everyone aside from the candidate being hired, or send rejection notices only to those who have not been previously rejected, of course excluding the candidate that is being hired here. Please note, if you do choose to send rejection notices here, you will have to select the same rejection reason for every candidate. For this example, I will choose not to send any rejection notices. As you can see, the job will now be moved into the closed filled status, which will change the number of openings in the requisition to 0 and remove all job board postings at this time. It is important to note that if you are hiring this candidate into a requisition with more than one opening, the number of openings will decrease by 1, and the position will not be closed until the number is down to 0. Once again, you will enter the appropriate start date and I-9 information. Please again select a start date at least 5 business days in advance, as that is the time needed for the candidate's information to be successfully loaded into Lawson. The employee profile must exist in Lawson for other needs to be met, such as getting assigned an employee number, receiving access to UHS email, the LMS system, and other important aspects of the job that will make the candidate's first day a success. Once all the information is filled out, I will select OK. Your candidate has now moved into the hired status, and your position is officially closed and filled. And that's all there is to onboarding in iCIMS. You have now seen the full cycle of the recruiting process in iCIMS, from opening a new job, finding the right candidates, offering the job, and onboarding your new hire. Next, we will be hosting live demo calls throughout the month of February to go through these steps in more detail with you and answer any questions that you might have. Please see the iCIMS email communications regarding training to add these calls to your calendar. The first week of February, we will review creating a new job, going through the approval process, posting to job boards, and changing candidate statuses. The second week, we will review sending offers in iCIMS in more detail. The third week of February, we'll review the onboarding process, which you just learned here. Finally, the last week of February, we'll review everything you learned and answer any final questions you may have before the system goes live in March. Don't forget, at least one call per topic is mandatory, but we encourage you to attend as many calls as you want so that you feel comfortable in the system. Once again, if you want to revisit this assignment, any past assignments, or any review materials, please visit the iCIMS ATS Learning Catalog on SharePoint, which can be found in the Quick Launch panel on UHS Connect. Thank you for your time, and have a great rest of your day.